more shenanigans. Lots of shenanigans. I don't know what to say else in this song, but there's lots of shenanigans. Hey, everybody. Good morning. How you doing? It's what's today? Thursday. Probably going to be a lot of FTGs on the board today because it's just, they're still counting. And now some of the election boards or whatever they call them say they might not be telling us anything until sometime tomorrow. Some said, let's see, so tomorrow's the 6th? Yeah, or even Saturday. And I haven't figured out exactly why they're having such a hard time counting. I mean, of course, some states didn't count any of the ballots at all. California. There is so much going on with this, and that's the only news I got today. And I hate to bombard you with just vote shit because there's more going on in the world. But at least we're not talking about COVID all the time. Yes, it is. It's FTG Thursday. Get your typing fingers ready. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as PDawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back, or welcome to the Dawg Knight Channel, depending on if you've been here before or not. It is the 5th of November, Thursday, which most of you who've been here before know that means it's FTG Thursday, where we just let everyone know that they can go, you know. If you have never, in fact, if you're not sure what FTG Thursday is, just ask the chat and they will get you caught up to speed. So obviously the name of the show of the day is counting because holy crap, they're still counting. And there's a whole lot of things to talk about regarding that. Now, I don't know how much you've seen, but oh boy, it is one of those days. But before we get into it, of course, like I do every morning, I try to say goodbye. Goodbye. Ha! You know what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to say good morning to everyone in the chat. Now, I know somehow I accidentally lost Renee Mayette, but Renee Mayette was first in the chat and gets the bell. Thank you for being here. Also, good morning to Maddie. Good morning, Keenan, Becca Farley, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Also, Tyler F, Gunfox 61, Cindy Rochelle. Good morning, Mr. No, Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate, James PFP, Space Trucker. Man, I haven't seen you for a while. Also, good morning to DI Freighter Watcher. Got Select a Boy already. Oh, I got to scroll a little. There's Renee Mayette. I see you there. Good morning, Becca Fairley. Good morning, Uncle Bad Touch. We know who you are, Joe Biden.
Come on, man.
Also, Jesse Leon. How you doing? G. Willie. We want to free G. Willie. And good morning, Zach Osborne. And how am I doing here? I got everybody so far? No, Donatello Slap-a-Fella's in the house. My favorite name on the internet. And Donatello's working but lurking. Hey, whatever you got to do, my man. Good morning, Anna Lynn. Good morning to, let's see, I'm looking for all your needs here. Good morning. Who else? Atheist Icon. What's happening? And I think I'm getting close. AWOL, that's a name that I don't see that often. I think AWOL might be, whoa, what the hell was that? It sounded like thunder. I think I just kicked the back of my desk and the metal went boom. Anyway, I think AWOL might be one of the people that we hang out with over on HB's channel. I'm pretty sure because AWOL says, here, let me get the appropriate sound for this. Let's see here. We'll go number 6. Let's go with number 6. Unwiped wisdom shall guide thee, son. Let not thine asshole be sullied by sinful tissue. Amen. Well, okay, that was the wrong sound effect. How'd I hit 17? Well, we don't know what that sounded like. That was supposed to be a 6. I'm still getting used to my new equipment, and it should have sounded like this, but it didn't. Sorry. And it's happened. So, and it still didn't do it. What the hell? Oh, I know. See, yeah, sometimes when you got to learn technology, it should have sounded like this. Let's try that again. Unwiped wisdom shall guide thee, son. Let not thine asshole be sullied by sinful tissue. Amen. All right, did that work right? Let's see. I'm going to listen to it myself. Hang on. So, and it still didn't do it. What the hell? That's me. Oh, I know. See, yeah, sometimes when you got to learn technology, it should have sounded like this. Let's try that. It worked. All right, that worked. Good enough. Good enough. Anyway, all right. So, good morning, Renovatio also, and I think a couple more people showing up as we go. We got 42 people in the house already. Awesome. I love it. All right, and Duck Dog, what's happening? All right, let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it. Because holy smacks, holy sugar smacks, Batman. It's gonna be it's crazy. Hello, you're a ridiculous lunatic. Wait a minute. That's hard. You know, when I say your name, I'm like, wait a minute, you're ridiculous. I don't know. Anyway. All right. So, part of the intro for my friend here from JJ Sefton, who's my favorite aggregator. Good morning, Bear Cock. Oh, no, that's somebody's name. Bear Cock, not. Never mind. That sounded weird. That's like, there's a joke there somewhere, but Bear Cock's in the chat. That's Bear Cock's name. And also, good morning, Cynical Lindsay, Fox P2, and a few other people showing up. All right. All right, let's get into this. I'm going to read, every once in a while I read JJ Sefton's intro to my aggregator here. And this is pretty good today because it is. Good morning, kids. Day 2 of what I pray is not the descent into year 0 begins with rage and confusion. The situation on the ground is that the lawsuits are flying while the Democratic deep state machine stands on the nearly dead corpse of the Republic to proclaim the system works and we should all come together and heal as in get better. Good morning, Katie did skate. Or some such rot. Most outrageously, those controlling the zombified Joe Biden have a Biden-Harris transition website already live. That's a little presumptuous. Anyway, well, actually, no, it's not. Because even if they don't have to actually use it, it doesn't hurt to have it up and running. But still, they didn't need to announce it. Anyway, if there's a God in heaven and then that kind of arrogance and hubris, I pray, comes back to haunt them. And it may, I was not having a whole lot of hope yesterday, but I'm having inklings, with the stuff going on in Arizona and the fact that the people out in those states that seem to be trying their damnedest to make it look like they're not cheating. I think the scrutiny on them might put a little pressure on them also. Well, we'll see. Anyway, as it is taking every ounce of energy I have to fight the sinking feeling that they will get away with this. I should have sensed this was going to happen, but even after everything we had been through with this president and before, I really didn't think what they just did was possible. Oh, election meshuggahs happen, and it does affect the outcomes here and there, or on a national level in some fluke cases like 1960 or almost in 2000 where sanity, or so he thought at the time, prevailed. But for the blatant election tampering and voter intimidation in Pennsylvania and Arizona, the national news media so blatantly called races for Biden that were still active while delaying the calls for major victories for Trump. And then for those 5 or 6 crucial states to stop their counting for no legitimate reason at all. Burst water pipe? Are you freaking kidding me? But I digress. And then suddenly discover tens of thousands of ballots with no signatures or even postmarks that are 100% for Biden and 0 marked for Trump. That is not random. That is a coordinated attack to sabotage the election in the Democratic deep state globalist tradition. They knew weeks ago that Trump was going to have, at minimum, a clear win in the Electoral College and perhaps even a narrow margin of the popular vote, if not a landslide. The pollsters didn't get it wrong. They were spewing propaganda as part of a psychological warfare operation to depress Trump voters, as if the tens of thousands of rally attendees going bonkers for Trump would believe it. Then we have Malig Nancy Pelosi. I love saying that now that I understand the joke. Malignancy, get it? Pelosi may be a classless, corrupt daughter of a mobster who's only marginally more articulate than goofy Joe Biden, but back in July, she had this to say about President Trump. Quote, "The fact is, whether he knows it or not, he will be leaving. Sorry, I can't get the denture sound to work right. Good morning. I don't even know how to say it. Afrin Macy. I think that's great. It's close enough. It's good. And I think I said hi to Tackle Pack already. She didn't say I'm confident he'll be defeated, or Joe Biden is beating badly in the polls, so there's no way he can win, or something like that. The words she used were a tell again. She said, the fact is, whether he knows it or not, he will be leaving, is what she said. Yes, you could argue that she suffers Trump derangement syndrome, but I think that it was her TDS that got the better of her, and she tipped her hand as to what was up. What I'm driving at is everything I cited above proves that what happened on Tuesday was a coordinated, multi-pronged, pre-planned event. Pelosi's words just underscore it. Hi, Ricky Ravioli. What's up? Traitorous, treasonous vermin like Stanley McChrystal are expert at staging so-called color revolutions that may resemble grassroots uprisings of the people against tyrants. He is a part of the deep state globalist cabal, and I would not be surprised if the election thievery, along with the threatened violence of the Antifa BLM street thugs, who will be portrayed by the industrial agitprop media disinformation complex as ordinary citizens fighting for their freedom, as well as the former election night disinformation op, all are interconnected. From everything I have seen over the past 4 years, you can bet your bottom social credit score credit on it. So what can we do? Well, we have a column. Well, he's just showing us some articles here that I'm not going to tell you the damn articles. But there are several, you just gotta realize it, right? Right? Oh, by the way, can I get an FTG for Nancy Pelosi? Or Malig Nancy. FTG Malig Nancy. What was the question here? Yet the drunken hag gets keep a shot. Yeah. PDawg Knight, what up, Marty? Oh, the one who tubes, always lurking. Well, nice to have you lurking. And guys, if you're here lurking, you're listening at work, you're driving, operating heavy machinery. Oh, C. Thomas is in the house. I did not even see you, my brother. Good morning, C. Thomas. How are you? Thank you for the first donation of the day through Streamlabs. And C. Thomas, you are the new Streamlabs superstar donor of the day. C. Thomas with the big $2 saying, quote, all this rampant and blatant fraud going on against Trump, but yet if you dare suggest you're skeptical about a Biden victory, you get lambasted, called desperate, tunnel vision, biased, etc., as if none of this bullshit is going on. Yeah, that's the truth. And you'll also get you might get a little timeout from Twitter too, or at least have some special notes added to your tweet to tell the world that, oh, here's the real deal on the safety of this election, which is, really crap. Good morning, Scotty Dubs, None Bus, Cindy Rochelle. I said hi to Cindy already, but that's okay. I'll say hi twice to you, Cindy, because you're my favorite nomad. Okay. Yeah. We'll get into Twitter too, because Twitter's being fucking ridiculous. And I'm sorry I swore, but that, it happens sometimes. I swear occasionally because it's quite maddening. Wow, 57 people here this early in the show. I am honored that you are here. By the way, if you're watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section. But I know it's early to say that, but I just always say it. Just some people come and go and leave and all that. FTB, what the hell is FTB? FTC, what the hell's going on here? Oh, I had to think about that. Good morning, Willie. How you doing? What about my Willie? I got you, Willie. There's another one of those things that I say that just sounds like something that a joke's in there somewhere. All right, so let's talk about this. We'll kind of do this in a fashion that is somewhat chronological. Oh my God, isn't she a fine individual? Somewhat chronological. So the president declared or claims victory in Georgia, North Carolina ahead of the major media because that's it. Now, I'm not sure if this is a great move or not. Good morning, Kessler. How you doing? President Trump has claimed victory in Georgia and North Carolina after his campaign declared him the winner of Pennsylvania ahead of any major media outlet. Now, I don't know about this strategy because he's kind of doing what they said he was going to do, but whatever. I don't care. Trump tweeted Wednesday afternoon that for electoral vote purposes, he was declaring victory in Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, citing the voting lead he currently holds in those states. He also said he would declare victory in Michigan if ballots were secretly dumped there. Yeah, kind of got that right, didn't he? We'll see what happens. We have claimed for electoral vote purposes. This is his tweet. We have claimed for electoral vote purposes the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which won't allow legal observers, the state of Georgia, and the state of North Carolina, each one of which has a big Trump lead. Additionally, we hereby claim the state of Michigan if, in fact, there was a large number of secretly dumped ballots, as has been widely reported. And then see this little thing here in pink? Can I make that? I don't know how to make that bigger. Well, here, let's do that. But she does. Here, let's do this. Oh, that didn't work. I want to make, here, bump. Oh, see, there we go. Just to make that easier for you to see. See this little pink thing right here? Official sources may not have called the race when this was tweeted. So Twitter's put they're having some editorial decisions on the president's tweets, which kind of makes them a publisher, doesn't it? I think we've talked about that before. All right, get that. Oh, wait, 80. What the hell? I want it to be there. Let's go 100%. There we go. I was wondering why that was doing that. All right. So anyway, he's moments before CNN had called the Michigan presidential race for Democratic nominee Joe Biden. CNN was the first major media company to project a winner for Michigan, giving the state 16 electoral votes to Biden. Now, mind you, no matter what the media says, it means nothing until there's actually votes counted. But in theory, both Wisconsin and Michigan have gone to Joe Biden, but not without some shenanigans. And we'll get into that in a minute. But here's some other things coming up here. Trump is leading in Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania vote counts, though none of the states have been called for him. He's also making a comeback in Arizona, even though Fox News and the Associated Press have already called the race for Biden, except this morning, the Associated Press, I haven't looked at Fox News, I haven't paid attention to Fox News at all. The Associated Press, though, has now returned Arizona to neutral, not as in no winner. Because the remaining ballots where they're counting and the trajectory of how they've been going so far may make it happen that Trump wins. And in fact, well, here, let me read the rest of this. Let's see. Trump's likely best shot at winning re-election necessitates that he hold on to his leads in Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania while flipping Arizona, which his campaign is confident he can do. The Daily Wire's editor emeritus Ben Shapiro laid out the Trump campaign's pathway to victory. I don't know if I can do a Ben Shapiro voice. I don't think I'd speak as fast as Ben Shapiro, and I talk pretty fast. Anyway. So here's the latest stats I'm hearing from via the Trump campaign, and they're sounding pretty confident that Trump has a serious shot at taking Arizona and Pennsylvania. Shapiro began in a tweet thread. In Arizona, Biden currently leads by approximately 93,500 votes. There were 605,000 votes cast on election day. Trump would need to, actually, there's 605,000 votes uncounted as of today. I don't know what that means there. Trump would need to pull in 57.73% of those votes to win. Team Trump says they're pulling in 62% in Maricopa County and 72 to 80% in other counties. They're projecting 40,000 vote win. In Pennsylvania, Trump is up by approximately 454,000 votes. There are 1.12 million votes outstanding. Biden needs 78% of those votes to win the state. 300,000 of those votes are in Philadelphia. Even if Biden wins 95% of those votes, he still needs to pull 70% of the other votes, and that's a heavy lift. A Phoenix-based data firm has said that although Biden is leading in Arizona, it projects that Trump will eventually overtake the former vice president as outstanding ballots from Trump-friendly territory are counted. And that's, of course, Data Orbital. If you haven't heard of them yet, you'll probably be hearing all about them. Anyway, Data Orbital, a data analytics and survey research firm based in Arizona's capital, is predicting that a number of outstanding ballots across the state will give Trump the edge over Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden. Arizona's 11 electoral votes may be the deciding factor for whichever candidate wins the election. This breakout is in line with what we are estimating and why we believe Donald Trump will carry Arizona. These ballots are heavily Republican and will break in his favor. We estimate about 500,000 outstanding ballots, Data Orbital said on Twitter. So that's the kind of the nuts and bolts update. Sarah! Oh my gosh, I am so happy that you are here. By the way, my wife, aka Lady Boomer, said that the next time I see you to say hello. It was funny. We were talking about this when we went on our trip up north a few weeks ago to go on our waterfall tour, and she was like, "Hey, what have you heard from Sarah lately?" So it's nice to see you in the chat. Absolutely. Also, good morning, Kay Show and Purple Pill Perspective. Nice to see you here. All right. So let's, now, as you can see, I have like 60 tabs open up there. So we're going to get through, not 60, well, 16, excuse me. But let's do some more nuts and bolts here. Or nuts and berries or nuts and grains or whatever. So I was talking about Joe Biden's transition website. Even though the 2020 presidential race is not yet to determine an outright winner, former Vice President Joe Biden's campaign is launching its transition website. And again, I don't have any problem with this. They've probably built it since half a year, because you got to be prepared if you win an election. And they were probably pretty confident they were going to win based on polls, although the polls are are actually just a bunch of polls, if you know what I mean, because they suck. Or, well, no, wait, that suck polls. Anyway, that didn't really work. The joke didn't work. I'm having trouble with my jokes today, guys. I'm sorry. Good morning, Spambot22, and Renovasio, who I already said, and good morning, Midnight and Exile. Waterfall tour. Jesus, how wholesome is your household? How much mayo is in your look, Midnight? If you look, first of all, a waterfall tour. I don't know what's wholesome about a waterfall tour. Yeah, I mean, we did in 4 days. We drove, put 1,172 miles on my truck. We hiked the equivalent of 30 miles with elevation changes equaling about 82 stories over 4 days. It's I don't know if it's all that wholesome, but we took some great video. In fact, the standby video for my show and the outro for my show are all video from that trip, and it was fantastic. And then we'd go back to the hotel and get a pizza or drink some wine and whatever, and then we'd go to sleep and go the next day and see some more. There's a lot of really cool waterfalls on the North Shore of Lake Superior. Okay, too much information. Hi, you, what's up? If I can, I will count the votes in Nevada. Laughing my ass off. There you go. And welcome to the show. By the way, if you're not subscribed, if you're new here, if you're just visiting or whatever, hit the subscribe thing right down. Oh, you can't really see me. It's down there. and hit that bell and make sure you do the all, not selected, but just the bell, and then click all, and then you'll get notifications. All right. On Wednesday, shortly after the Associated Press called Michigan and Wisconsin for the Democratic ticket, Biden's campaign unveiled their transition website. I'm really hoping they jump the gun. And the site will likely serve as the campaign chief's mechanism for disseminating news and information about potential Biden administration policies and appointments should the former vice president win the election. Hey, I don't care. Be prepared, and that's okay. But Biden did come out and say, and this was what he did a press conference, because he's not claiming victory. He's just saying, hey, it's looking good, but we don't know. And this was what he said: the American people will determine who will serve as the next president of the United States. That's the only text on the site. Votes are still being counted in several states around the country. The crisis facing the country are severe, from a pandemic to an economic recession to climate change to racial injustice. And the transition team will continue to preparing at full speed so the Biden-Harris administration can hit the ground running on day one. It continues. So anyway, I don't know if this is presumptuous or if it's just something they had ready, but they're signaling that they think they have a chance. So I'm not so bummed. I don't care about that. I'm hoping they're wrong, but you know how it goes. Moving on, the Michigan Secretary of State responds to the Trump campaign lawsuit. So the Trump campaign is filed a lawsuit, I believe, in Michigan, Pennsylvania. I don't know if they've done one in Georgia yet. I guess I have a bunch of tabs open. It tells me there. But in Michigan, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but as we're doing the counting, and there's little counting graphs all over the place. We showed it to you yesterday. Remember when that counting graph, there was one point, like both campaigns. Here, let me just do this so you can see what I'm doing. So the trajectory of both campaigns, they're going up like this, right? And Trump was here and Biden was here. And then all of a sudden, at one point in the count where these are gradually going up, the Biden campaign's line went like this, just straight up, and boom, all of a sudden it's like boom, straight ahead, higher total. Because all of a sudden, 138,000 Biden votes were added to the total, just poof, out of the blue. And so it looks like shenanigans. Plus, they weren't allowing poll watchers to go in some of the places. They weren't allowing Republican, people who, when they do the counting, you usually have Democrats and Republicans in the counting room. They're kicking the Republicans out. And so the Trump administration is filing a lawsuit in Michigan probably going to have a recount there. Okay. Oh, plus there's some dead people and shit, but that's a whole nother thing. There's always, look, if you don't get the dead person vote, then you're not a real Democrat. But anyway, so the Michigan Secretary of State responds to the Trump campaign lawsuit, saying it's meritless and frivolous, responding to a Trump campaign lawsuit to stop ballot count. Well, stop counting illegitimate ballots. But thank you, Purple Pill Perspective, with the first YouTube super chat of the day, who says Biden is going to transition. I guess calling himself Jill Biden's wife wasn't a gaffe after all. Hey, how about you there? That's fantastic. And the rest of the chat believes so too. All right, there you go. So anyway, here's her response here.
What is your response on behalf of the state to what the Trump campaign is accusing? Because they're effectively saying that Michigan and you are messing up. And that somehow you're not following the rules that provide for this type of transparency and oversight of the counting, which, regardless of which candidate people like, is the law of the land and is important. Your response.
So let me be abundantly clear. First of all, this is
Whenever a politician ever says, well, let me be abundantly clear, you know what that means, right? Boys and girls, you know exactly what that means when they say, well, let me be clear. Well, Obama used that a lot. Remember? Well, let me be clear. Anytime Obama said, well, let me be clear, that means he was lying. Anyway, so let her continue here.
Meritless, frivolous lawsuit, and really just an attempt to sow seeds of doubt about the integrity of our well-established election process and protocols.
Well-established election process. Isn't this the first time that we did a lot of mail-in ballots? How is that a well-established? This is the first time you've ever done it in Michigan. Well-established, my hind quarter. Hello, MCs in the house.
Hammer time.
And Robert Chalk, what's up, my friend? How you doing? Here we go.
Right at the moment when we anticipated a lot of misinformation was going to target our state.
Oh, misinformation. Is that what it is? Yes. Not like they didn't have video of the people coming in the middle of the night on the Deitch Count in the morning, 4 a.m. with boxes of over 138,000 ballots that they brought into the TCF Center at 4 a.m. There's video of it. Yeah, they get a little extra doubt. Yeah. 4 a.m. All of a sudden they brought, and they weren't in like boxes either. That was the weird thing. They were all in like plastic, coolers like you'd carry beer in, and 138,000 ballots. Just, there's video of it. Look for it online. You'll see it.
Polls closed to the minute we were about to and get very close to having that full tabulation. So recognize it for what it is, an attempt to confuse and obfuscate what actually is a very transparent, secure process in Michigan, where all of our legal protocols have been followed by election workers, thousands of whom have been working for hours through the night to meticulously tabulate every vote. And we will continue to do so. As I've said, and again, made abundantly clear, there is no candidate, no campaign, no political party who will stand in the way of our commitment to ensure that every valid vote in Michigan will be counted and that only valid votes in Michigan will be counted.
Okay, well, and she says so. All right, anyway, the Trump campaign manager, Bill Stepien, announced earlier today as votes in Michigan continue to be counted, the presidential race in the state remains extremely tight. We always knew it would be. President Trump's campaign has not been provided with meaningful access to numerous counting locations to observe the opening of ballots and the counting process as guaranteed by Michigan law. He added, we have filed a suit today in the Michigan Court of Claims to halt counting until meaningful access has been granted. Because here's the thing. Here's the media narrative on that. Okay, that the Trump campaign and Trump are trying to have the counting stopped. As in, oh, he was up and now he wants counting stopped in Michigan and Wisconsin, but he wants him to keep counting in Arizona where he's getting an advantage. That is a lie by the media. He wants the counting stopped until they abide by the law to allow people from his campaign to observe, certified people from his campaign to observe the counting, and then they can keep counting. He's not trying to get them to stop the counting. But Michigan's one of those states where there'll probably be a recount. We'll see what happens. Moving on. Also, Ronna McDaniel accuses Democratic Pennsylvania Secretary of State with a flagrant violation of the law. Moments ago, GOP Chairman Ronna McDaniel accused Democrat Pennsylvania Secretary of State Kathleen Boothvar with a flagrant violation of state law. And this was her tweet. Pennsylvania Democratic Secretary of State Kathleen Boothvar is trying to get away with a flagrant violation of state law. The RNC and Team Trump have filed a suit in the state court to fight back. The Help America Vote Act requires that certain first-time voters provide ID when voting. But at the 11th hour, Boothvar unilaterally rewrote Pennsylvania election code to move the deadline for providing missing proof of ID to several days past the deadline set by the law. Her rogue action will only delay results, raise questions about which ballots should be counted, and diminish confidence in the outcome. Help us fight back against the Democrats' assault on the election. So that's why they too are having a little feud with the Pennsylvania people. Also, there's been calls for the Pennsylvania Attorney General to step down. This is a Breitbart article. What did I see here? Michigan State Police blocked GOP poll observers from entry for federal supervision. Fuck the MSP jackboots. Oh, I said that out loud. But okay, yeah, it's messy out there, people. Renovashi, election fraud in 2020. Significant circumstantial evidence from many sites, statistically unlikely approaching mathematical impossibility counts are correct. Democrats say there is no evidence. Yeah, there's plenty of evidence. They're just full of crap. There needs to be a recount in Michigan, probably. Wisconsin. There's even shenanigans in Minnesota, apparently. Now, granted, we have same-day registration in Minnesota, which is fine, but our vote totals, as I'm finding out, I found this out this morning, our vote totals in Minnesota equal 107% of the registered voters in Minnesota. I don't know how that happened. I'm not sure if that's 100% correct, but that's what I saw. Now, granted, we do have same-day registration, which could account for that because not all same-day registration is immediately put into the system. The other thing is we traditionally have the highest turnout in the nation. We're always in the 70, 80%, but never has it ever been 107% or over 100% because you can't have over 100% of registered voters because well, it's not supposed to be possible. So I there's a chance that there is a chance that I could be wrong. And it could be anything. Good morning, Zach Osborne. This is like the election scene in the gangs of New York. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? It's kind of crazy. Are you still sure it can't flip, Marty? In Minnesota? No, no. Unfortunately, it's pretty, even if they recount, I think it's a insurmountable lead in Minnesota. I think Michigan, Wisconsin need to be recounted for sure, though. The mess that's going on in Pennsylvania, oh my gosh. Hard Disk Fail says, I always give 110%. Well, so have the voters in Minnesota, apparently. Anyway, so they're asking for, now we're also asking for the resignation of the Pennsylvania Attorney General. He's trying to steal Pennsylvania from Trump. That's somebody's demand. Calls for Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro to step aside are rising after he urged voters to seek election help from Democrats mere days after stating that if all the votes are added up in Pennsylvania, Trump is going to lose. Yeah, he made that prediction. He made that prediction before the actual election day. And I don't know if that was appropriate for him to do, being he's the Attorney General. But anyway, Shapiro drew strong reactions across social media after encouraging voters to seek election help from Democrats on election day. By the way, can we get an FTG for Josh Shapiro? FTG, Josh. Oh, I can't spell Josh. Josh, there, FTG for Josh. Need help with your mail-in ballot, finding out where to vote, or something else? Shapiro wrote on social media. Call the Pennsylvania Democrat Voter Assistance Hotline. Someone will answer and help you out. Call 1-833-PA-VOTES. Now, I'm pretty sure, as the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, I don't know if he's supposed to be electioneering on his job or pointing people to specific partisan helplines, I guess. Days earlier, Shapiro predicted that Trump would lose the Keystone State contingent on if, quote, all the votes are added up. That's interesting. His partisan position continues to draw heavy criticism, particularly given that the presidential race could come down to the Keystone State, which is continuing to count outstanding ballots. Pennsylvania GOP Attorney General candidate Heather Heidelbaugh called on Shapiro to step aside from the process entirely. Shapiro cannot be seen as having his thumb on the scale, acting in the dual roles of legal arbiter of the vote and candidate deeply invested in its outcome, she said in a statement, calling on the Attorney General to appoint a trusted and impartial deputy to oversee any legal questions and disputes which the office might play a role in concerning this election. So there you go. And then, let's see. Who's Raga? I don't know what the hell Raga is. The outcome of these elections in Pennsylvania must not be muddled with this glaring conflict of interest, she added. I see. This is the something Association of Republican Attorney Generals, I guess. I don't know. Oh, Republican Attorney Generals Association, maybe? Okay, Republican AGs. So that's interesting considering Pennsylvania's Democratic AG Josh Shapiro said on October 31st, days before the election, if all votes are added up in PA, real Donald Trump is going to lose. So there's Benny Johnson says this bastard is going to try and steal Pennsylvania from Trump. He literally states he's going to do this. How much more evidence do you need? Retweet if you think Josh Shapiro should be nowhere near Pennsylvania ballots and should resign for election interference. I think so. I think so. So anyway, everyone got our FTGs in for Josh Shapiro. Good. Let's see. Let me, I'm going to take a small break here. Before I do that though, hey, you know, in the Morning Night Live, we love our coffee, and I have the Brigitte's. It's Brigitte's. It's not Brigitte's, but it's Brigitte's cafe cup from Brigitte's Cafe in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Has my cup of reparation coffee here, and if you have some coffee or bourbon or a soda or whatever, join me in a sip, and then we're going to take one short break, and we'll be right back. That is fantastic. Watch my commercial. Hey everybody, it's me, Marty. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I hope you're enjoying the show. The Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you have a moment, take time to share this stream by hitting that little arrow down below or up here if you're on a mobile. And please hit the like button. I know you like it if you're still here and you're still watching. And finally, if you want to support the show, you can do that through your donations and super chats, which are in the description down below. You can do that at Streamlabs link or at PDawgKnight.live. That every little bit helps. And thank you for watching. Now back to the show. All right. Now, yes, there is also, welcome back, by the way, hi, I'm back. Yes, there is a lawsuit in Georgia also, which I mentioned before. I couldn't remember if it was Georgia or not, but yes, the Trump campaign has filed a lawsuit in Georgia. Race still not called. President Donald Trump's reelection campaign and the Georgia Republican Party announced Wednesday they are suing the state of Georgia to ensure election integrity. Wow. Ooh. That shouldn't have come out like that. Anyway, President Trump and his team are fighting for the good of the nation to uphold the rule of law, and Georgia's law is very clear. To legally count, mail ballots must be received by 7 p.m. on Election Day, Justin Clark, Deputy Campaign Manager and Senior Counsel, said in a statement to the Daily Caller. That's still the law, even after Democrats sued earlier this year to extend the deadline and delay Election Day. President Trump and Republicans fought to uphold Georgia law and won. Clark said a Republican poll observer witnessed 53 late absentee ballots illegally added to a stack of on-time absentee ballots in Chatham County. We will not allow the Democratic election officials to steal this election for President Trump with late illegal ballots, Clark continued. So the campaign is asking the court to issue an order requiring the Chatham County Board of Elections to separate all absentee ballots received after 7 p.m. and create a new record of how many late ballots were received, the name of the voter, and the time the ballots were received. Georgia state law stipulates that late absentee ballots shall be safely kept unopened by the board or absentee ballot clerk and then sent to an appropriate clerk for further storage. The ballots, which remained unopened, are eventually destroyed. So I just asked them to follow the law. Good morning, check your logic. Ballots, check your logic. Ballots, the answer to your question. So yeah, it's kind of a mess. There's all kinds of things going on. But the question remains, why? Oh, why did Georgia and Pennsylvania senators pause their vote counting? That is a fascinating question. Populous counties in Pennsylvania and Georgia, two major battleground states, halted their election counting without immediate explanations on November 3rd. Allegheny, Pennsylvania, the second most populous county in the state, ceased ballot counting approximately 1:30 a.m. on November 4th and was said to resume at 10 a.m. this morning, according to The Hill. Pennsylvania carries 20 electoral votes and is considered a must-win for President Trump, The Hill reported. And it allowed, so they needed time to rest. Now look, election day comes but once a year. They know they're in for a long night. No, that wasn't the pipe burst one. That one was in, what's that county, whatever the county, Fulton? That was in Fulton County where the pipe burst. Yeah, that was a weird one too. It allowed time for everyone to get a little rest before reconvening. Amy Downs, a spokesperson for the county, told the Daily Caller News Foundation the staff doing the scanning were not on separate shifts. The same group was running the process the entire time. The process was not going to be finished in a few hours. Fulton County, Georgia halted ballot counting on November 3rd after a pipe burst in a major polling center around 6 a.m. According to the North Fulton neighbor, the pipe was repaired and counting resumed hours later, but it still has not been revealed why county authorities made the call to stop count since the polling center was operational following the incident, according to a local report. So, also, let's see. The state of Georgia carries 16 electoral votes and is a must-win for Trump in his bid to defeat Democratic nominee Joe Biden. Yeah, and he was leading in Georgia at the time, but they've got a lot of ballots to count in Georgia still, and they're not telling us what's going on. Good morning, Ginger Power. How you doing? All right. Like I said, I'm just full. I've got tabs galore today, so we're just going to try to get through all this news first. We already talked about Data Orbital predicting that Trump will carry Arizona. The breakdown is in line with what we are estimating and why we believe Donald Trump will carry Arizona. The firm tweeted Wednesday afternoon, these ballots are heavily Republican and will break in his favor. We estimate about 500,000 estimated ballots. Now, oh gosh, Nate Silver. Oh, Nate Silver appeared to agree. Wow. I am skeptical now. Nate Silver tweeted, here's what's left to count in Arizona. At first glance, this would seem quite bad for Trump since it's largely mail ballots, but mail ballots that arrived late in the process are considerably more Republican by party registration than the ones that arrived earlier. At least 400,000 ballots are left. ABC's news reported as well, Arizona is yet undecided as of Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, ABC is one of the outlets that had not called Arizona. Fox News and the AP did, but AP has changed theirs. I haven't looked at Fox's at all. But President Donald Trump is projected to take the battleground state of Florida, but Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia still hang in the balance as the possibility for former Vice President Joe Biden of Wednesday afternoon. Arizona race not projected yet. But the Trump campaign also pushed back against Fox News, which called Arizona for Democratic nominee Joe Biden on Tuesday evening, even though hundreds of thousands of votes were left to be counted. And then also the Arizona Governor Doug Ducey pushed back against the call that his state had gone for Biden. Anyway, I don't know what's going on over at Fox. And I don't, like I said, I don't watch any of the major network news. I usually see clips on YouTube from whatever things I want to watch, but I didn't watch any of their election results. I basically, on election night, as you may know, or if you were here, I was watching 5 different streams that were following, multiple outlets. And then I also was on a stream with with Ranty Monkey, Scribe Light, and Satsu 2 Cents on the Lords of the Night. So I haven't followed, other than reading a lot and following all these tabs, I haven't really watched any of the network news. All right. Anyway, moving on. Arizona. And then we have Sharpie Gate. And I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm pretty sure that they will count the votes. It's kind of, Well, let me just read it. Exclusive. Arizona poll workers gave voters a Sharpie to vote, then threw out their ballots, according to a lawsuit. Now, I'm not sure if they actually threw out the ballots, but here we go. On Wednesday, an Arizona voter filed an explosive lawsuit alleging that poll workers effectively disenfranchised her on election day and may have done the same to other voters. The lawsuit comes as President Donald Trump is disputing early reports calling the state for Joe Biden. Lori Aguilera voted in person in Maricopa County on election day, but poll workers provided her with a Sharpie marker instead of a pen. Aguilera completed her ballot with the provided Sharpie and noticed that the ink was bleeding through. In the lawsuit, she claims that while she had voted in several election cycles before, this was the first time poll workers gave her a Sharpie to fill out her ballot. Now, before I even continue, I wonder if this issue is going to cause any problems with the company that makes Sharpies. Are we going to have a Sharpie ban? Are we going to have Sharpie Gate? Is Sharpie stock going to fall like a brick, or will it rise because all the Biden supporters will go out and buy Sharpies? I don't know how this is going to affect Sharpies. I love my Sharpies. I got to tell you, they're a great marker, but they do tend to bleed through paper. Anyway, Aguilera fed her ballot into the ballot box, but the ballot box failed to properly register her vote, causing a poll worker to cancel her ballot in her presence. She requested a new ballot, but the poll worker refused to give her one. Well, then maybe she has a point. The lawsuit claims that Maricopa County Recorder's Office ordered them not to do so. Yeah, that's weird. Aguilera lawsuit also claims that many other voters have experienced similar issues. 10 anonymous plaintiffs joined Aguilera in the lawsuit. This practice violates Arizona law. The lawsuit alleges the law stipulates that an electronic voting system must record correctly and count accurately every vote cast. Plaintiff and those like her properly operated the county's electronic voting system, but upon information and belief, it failed to automatically record her vote. Upon information and belief, it also failed to record her votes correctly and count them accurately. The lawsuit claims Arizonans possess a right to a free and equal election under our state constitution. The lawsuit adds this right is implicated when votes are not properly counted. These voters were denied the right to vote. Arizona election officials allegedly were part of the problem, and the denial of the right to vote should not occur because of failures in the process of casting ballots, and so on and so forth. So I'm not sure how we're going to keep hearing about Sharpie. I know in some places they allowed it, they fixed it, but apparently this woman didn't get to vote, and they wouldn't let her fix it. That sucks. Kyra Alexander says, and if you know a doctor who will have them give you a congenitive disease on paper, don't be proudful of your health. China kills the healthiest first. Oh, I don't know what this conversation is about, but it's kind of deep. All right. Moving on. Let's go to Pennsylvania now. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf said, he was saying 3 million millions of mail-in ballots yet to be counted. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf said Wednesday morning that there are still millions of mail-in ballots yet to be counted in the battleground state, appearing to correct himself after giving a specific figure of 3 million. I'd be shocked if there were actually 3 million votes not counted in Pennsylvania, but hey, they got to hedge their bets. Yes, FTG Tom Wolf. I should have just said it right off the bat. FTG Tom Wolf. Definitely. Urging Americans to be patient, he said the delay in results is a sign that the system is working. Yes, exactly, Tom Wolf. Yes, the system's working. Oh my God. Anyway, he says there are 3 million, millions of mail-in ballots that are being counted, and that takes longer than the way we used to do it with the stand-in person voting. Wolf said at a Wednesday morning brief. I don't understand this. And maybe it's just me. I know in Minnesota, okay, we get our ballot, they pop it into a machine. Can't they make the mail-in ballots that same, that they just pop into a machine and have them count them, and then you have the paper, obviously, as a backup if you need to recount? I just don't get it. But whatever. So he says that, so now we may not know the results either today, but the most important thing is we have accurate results. Again, even if that takes a little longer than we're used to, the governor offered a lower estimate of outstanding ballots hours earlier, over 1 million. So he went from 1 million to 3 million. Hey, you know what? I think there in Pennsylvania, there are exactly enough uncounted votes to get a Joe Biden win. Okay. Not provided says it's 6 million. Yes. If they need 6 million, then they need 6 million. I hate to be that just so pessimistic, but holy shit. Just is what it is. I can't. Somebody, Calgon, take me away, something. Anyway, our county is working tirelessly to process votes as quickly as and accurately as possible. Pennsylvania will have a fair election and we will count every vote. Good for you, Governor Wolf. Holy shit. By the way, I was going to say this the other day. It's always, I was going to make this point. You know how the Democrats are really fighting hard to have the mail-in ballots, not absentee ballots, mail-in ballots, where they just mail out the ballots to everybody and then everyone sends them back. But I always thought it was kind of ironic that the party that always tries to get military ballots, make military ballots invalid or not counted, is the one that wants to count mail-in ballots. Well, apparently there's been military ballots found in the trash in Pennsylvania, and most were Trump votes. Fantastic. Yes. Mail-in ballots from the military serving overseas were found in the trash in Pennsylvania. The ballots were discovered during an investigation into election issues in Luzerne County. Most of the discarded ballots had been cast for President Trump. Oh, now that's just a coincidence. Come on, man. The Attorney's Office, Middle District of Pennsylvania, released a statement on the situation on Thursday. On Monday, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what voice I want to use for this. Just use my voice. On Monday, September 21st, 2020, at the request of Luzerne County District Attorney Stephanie Salavantis, the Office of the United States Attorney, along with the Federal Bureau of Investigation Scranton Resident Office, began an inquiry into reports of potential issues with a small, make sure they say a small number of mail-in ballots at the Luzerne County Board of Elections. Okay, before I continue this paragraph, does it really matter if it's a small number of mail-in ballots? What if a small number of mail-in ballots happened in 1,000 different places? Then that small number of mail-in ballots could happen to a very large number of mail-in ballots. So shut the fuck up. Since Monday, the FBI personnel working together with the Pennsylvania State Police have conducted numerous interviews and recovered and reviewed certain physical evidence. Maybe they got some fingerprints. Maybe there's someone needs to go to jail. Hello, Cracked. How you doing? Election officials in Luzerne County have been cooperative. Good. Somebody's going to jail. At this point, we can confirm that a small number of military ballots were discarded. Investigators have recovered 9 ballots at this time. Oh, only 9. Well, that is a small number. Some of those ballots can be attributed to specific voters and some cannot. All 9 ballots were cast for presidential candidate Donald Trump. They later revised the statement. Of the 9 ballots that were discarded, then recovered, 7 were cast for President Trump. While 9 ballots have been recovered, it's not clear how many were actually discarded. The announcement comes on the heels of a report that 3 trays of mail, including absentee ballots, were discovered in a ditch in Wisconsin. Well, of course they were found in a ditch in Wisconsin. That's where they're supposed to be. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
White House Press Secretary Kayla McEnany addressed both of these stories on Thursday. Let's watch Kaylee.
The president wants to get rid of mass mail-out voting, and that's not because he said clearly that could go either way. It could damage either candidate's chances because it's a system that's subject to fraud. In fact, in the last 24 hours, police in Greenville, Wisconsin, found mail in a ditch, and it included absentee ballots. And also, I can confirm for you that Trump ballots for the president were found in Pennsylvania, and I believe you should be getting more information on that shortly. Here in the last 24 hours, they were found cast aside. The president wants to get rid of...
I don't need to see it again, although I don't mind. I guess I don't mind watching her. She's all right. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that's in Pennsylvania and other places where the shenanigans continue. And ladies and gentlemen, this is by John Daniel Davison, who writes, yes, Democrats are trying to steal the election in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Well, that's almost a given, right? As of this writing, it appears that Democratic Party machines in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania are trying to steal the election. As reporters and commentators went to bed early Tuesday morning, all 3 states were too close to call, but President Trump led former Vice President Joe Biden by comfortable margins, far beyond what had been predicted in the polls. None of the networks called these states because enough mail-in ballots remained uncounted that it could swing either way, but Trump's position looked good. But then something strange happened in the dead of the night. In both Michigan and Wisconsin, votes dumped early Wednesday showed 100% of the votes going for Biden and 0%, that's 0, so not even 1 vote, for Trump. In Michigan, Biden somehow got 138,339 votes, and Trump got none. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. In an overnight vote dump. When my Federalist colleague Sean Davis noted this, Twitter was quick to censor his tweet, even though all he had done was compare 2 sets of vote totals on the New York Times website. And he wasn't the only one who noticed, although on Wednesday it appeared that anyone who noted the Biden vote dump in Michigan was getting censored by Twitter. And there's the example. Not censored, but given one of these, some or all of the content shared in this tweet is disputed, might be misleading about an election or other civic process. Learn more. Yes, learn more about the U.S. 2020 election security efforts. Oh, security efforts? Security, is that what we're calling them? Security efforts? I got a feeling this video is going to get banned. Others were quick to note the partisan censorship from Twitter and raised concerns about how 100% of a vote dump could possibly go to Joe Biden. Not 1 out of 138,339 votes. By the way, that was just enough to get Biden back into the lead. Oh, shocker. Shocker. But the social media giant has maintained its crackdown on sharing this information. Twitter users could not like or share a tweet from Daily Wire's Matt Walsh, who also got suspended from Twitter, noting that 138,339 vote dump. BuzzFeed later reporting that, according to a spokesperson at Decision Desk HQ, the votes for Biden were a result of a data error. Oh, it was just an error. Oh, man, it was just an error. Of course it was just an error. It's just an error. Oh, I'm sure they're very sorry about that error. From a file created by the state that we ingested. Whatever that means. When the state noticed the error, hang on. When the state noticed the error, it updated its count, which somehow gave 138,339 votes to Biden and 0 to Trump. It was from an error, not that they counted more ballots. Just an error, just a typo, right? It turns out the vote dump was the result of an alleged typo, an extra 0 that had been tacked onto Biden's vote total in the Shiawassee County, Michigan. In Shiawassee County, okay. It seemed the error was discovered only because Davis and other Twitter users noted how insane and suspicious the vote totals looked and demanded an investigation that uncovered what was either a typo or an incredibly clumsy attempt to boost Biden's vote count. That was also something suspicious. Oh, there was also something suspicious about the vote count reporting in Antrim County, Michigan, where Trump beat Hillary Clinton by 30 points in 2016. Initial vote totals there showed Biden ahead of Trump by 29 points, a result that can't possibly be accurate, as plenty of journalists noticed. Oh, journalists even noticed this one. Antrim County, Michigan makes no sense. So here's, so this is this, can I show the picture? Can I know? Okay, here, I'll just show you the whole tweet. Oh, today, come on. Oh my gosh, lots of notifications here. So here, this is this year. So 62% for Biden, 36% for Trump. Well, here's how it was in 2016. Donald Trump had 62% and 32% for Hillary. Is this the one where they actually inverted the results, though? Oh, here we go. After the strange results caught national attention, election officials at Antrim County said they were investigating what they called skewed results, working with the company that provides their election software to see what went wrong. The county clerk said they planned to have answers by Wednesday afternoon. I think that's the one where they said, no, we accidentally inverted the results. It was actually Trump 62% and Biden 30% or whatever they said. Then another mysterious all Biden vote dump happened in Wisconsin. As they say in Chicago. Biden miraculously overcame a 4.1 Trump lead in the middle of the night thanks to vote dumps in which they got, you guessed it, 100% of the votes, and Trump got 0. Note the vertical lines below. We showed you this one yesterday. Let's see. I'll open this one up so you can see it again. I showed you this yesterday. We were like, oh, how the hell could that be? So here's the one in Wisconsin. See now how this, you can see my cursor here. See how the lines are going up. They're counting votes, and Trump has a little bit of lead there. And all of a sudden, this one just goes straight up, as in they dumped a bunch of votes right there. And then Brown and Kenosha counties still counting. And it happened in Michigan too, right here. See how they're both kind of gradually going up. And then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of votes for Biden just out of the blue, just before they count Detroit. Yeah, right. Anyway. On Wednesday, the Trump campaign demanded a full recount in Wisconsin, citing reports of irregularities in several Wisconsin counties, which raised serious doubts about the validity of the results. In Pennsylvania, the Democratic scheme to steal the election is a bit different. Rather than vote dumps that possibly go 100% to Biden, Pennsylvania is relying on the Democratic Secretary of State's plan to count indisputably late mail-in ballots as though they were received on election day, even if they has no postmark. And I don't know why, but that was the suit that they took to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, and this Pennsylvania Supreme Court, which is elected, they're all Democrats, said that, we don't, because they wanted it to be where you had to have a postmark properly on it, and it had to have the proper signatures, whatever. Well, which side they needed The plan was, of course, rubber stamped by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, which cited the need for equitable relief to address mail delays amid the pandemic. Oh, but don't you have to mail it on time? It should probably have a postmark that says it's mailed before that time. But no, they said no. Yeah, no, you don't have to do it. As long as you have a ballot that looks like it's valid, you can count it. How about that? This is what left-wing equity look like. Yeah. Here it is. Here's the. No, that this just isn't about ballots that come in after Election Day, but about ballots that come in after Election Day that don't even have a postmark. That is, there's no way to tell when the ballots were mailed or from where. And here's the key line here. Ballots received within this period with that lack a postmark or other proof of mailing, or for which the postmark or other proof of mailing is legible, should enjoy a presumption that they were mailed by Election Day. So if someone walks in the back door with a box of mail-in ballots, no postmark, doesn't matter. They can just say, "Oh well, yeah, we had these already, and we're just going to presume that they were mailed by Election Day." It's just terrible. Oh boy. All right, enough of that article. Shit's gross. And then let's see, just a couple more here. Wow, I'm flying through this today. And so regarding those vertical lines there, you know, the sudden influx of votes in Michigan, Wisconsin. Well, the officials in Wisconsin and in Michigan refused to explain it. Michigan, Wisconsin election officials refuse to explain sudden Biden vote influx. Election officials in Michigan and Wisconsin refused to explain Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's sudden and dramatic vote tally increase that occurred in both states Wednesday morning. Michigan and Wisconsin state officials warned against misinformation being shared online. So in other words, don't tweet about it. But wouldn't comment on specific vote tranches, whatever that means, that appeared to show, I know what that means, show former Vice President Joe Biden suddenly receiving more votes than President Donald Trump. The two battleground states remain tightly contested as of Wednesday afternoon, according to the New York Times. Voter tallies from both states spiked at around 6 a.m. in favor of Biden, according to graphs of live tallies posted by 538. Oh, that's Nate Silver's John. If you're from Pennsylvania, or particularly Philly, that's Nate Silver's John. Trump tweeted multiple times Wednesday morning claiming that officials are finding votes for Biden all over the place. I would ask everyone not to repeat disinformation. Misinformation. Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson told reporters at a Wednesday press conference when asked about the tallies that appeared to overwhelmingly favor Biden, which we saw that video earlier. Yeah. Oh God. So they told us they were going to do this with the mail-in ballots. I don't remember what they called it. Anyone in the chat remember what they called the operation? Something like fake red wave or fake something, pink something. Who knows what that was called? They said that they're going to, obviously it's going to look like Trump had very commanding leads on election day, and it will be balanced out by the mail-in ballots. And so that, you know, Biden will win. They told us they were going to do that. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Speaking of Twitter, yes, Twitter is on a censoring rampage after Trump tweets about the election this morning. That was from yesterday. Trump had been tweeting about elections and bringing up important issues and asking the same questions that many others are asking about the magical ballots appearing in Michigan. Red Mirage, thank you. Yeah, Operation Red Mirage. They said they were going to do it. They told us exactly what they were doing, and in the immortal words of Emerald, bam! They're doing it. So now they're putting little, so it's not exactly censoring, but what are these little links that Twitter puts on your tweets if you have any form of wrongthink, right? These little, some or all of this content shared in this tweet is disputed and might be misleading about an election or other civic processes. Well, let me read the tweet that they put this on. Last night I was leaving, often solidly in many key states, in almost all instances, Democrat run and control. Then, one by one, they started to magically disappear as surprise ballot dumps were counted. Very strange, and the pollsters got it completely and historically wrong. That is a 100% factual tweet. Okay? Now, unfortunately, it does make you question what the Democrats are doing in those places where they're counting those votes. But that doesn't make it wrong. That doesn't mean some of the content shared in this tweet is disputed. No, disputed how? First of all, he didn't say in every state, but in every key state, leading solidly. And then all of a sudden, poof, overnight, 138,000 votes, 100% for Joe Biden, 0 for Trump. How does that? I don't care if you, well, I was going to say Manhattan. Because what's the most, California. Let's say you went to downtown Los Angeles and took out 138,000 people and said, here, vote either Biden or Trump. You're going to get at least a few Trump votes, aren't you? It's not going to be at 100%. You're not going to get 100% of anybody. Someone just might mess up how they did a ballot. If Twitter labels you a delinquent, you must be cool. Hey, I've been trying. I've really, well, anyway, I'll show you a couple of tweets here in a minute. So anyway, they're censoring everybody. I think they knocked Matt Walsh here. They did it to Ian Miles Chong. His tweet is here's his tweet. Twitter is censoring all conversations about ballot dumps. Matt Walsh, there's a reason enough to go to court. No honest person can look at this and say it's normal and unconcerning. Can he have an opinion without you putting learn about U.S. 2020 election security efforts? This is, this is as much election interference as anything any foreign country is doing. I got to tell you, it is absolutely nonsense. This guy quoting NBC News, breaking Wisconsin Election County Commission administrator says on NBC News, all of the ballots have been counted. Joe Biden has won Wisconsin by 20,679 votes. That he's just breaking news. She's just breaking news. Now, official sources may not have called the race when this was tweeted. Well, he's not. He's quoting NBC News. And there have been people who have been quoting the New York Times have been getting the same thing. It's insanity. Twitter is, well, it's trash, but it's a fun playground, so I can't leave it. I can't quit it. But anyway. All right, we're going to wrap this up. I've got some time here, though, so we'll go through some of the bookmarks that I had this morning, just little things of interest that happened on social media. Orwell is rolling over his grave. Oh, I'm telling you. And Twitter has become the something of truth. God, my brain's not working today. Ministry of Truth. Twitter's becoming the Ministry of Truth. The social media companies, and it's only either agree, obey, or we're going to put a special tag on your communication, right? Good Lord. So the dumpster fire that is. So let's see. Oh God, these people too. Oh, so some of these are just funny. And some are interesting. So again, here's another one. This was yesterday, breaking. Over 500 mail-in ballots for Trump found dumped at Maryville precinct in Michigan. Email from the county Republican official. Listed below are a state representative and county clerk, both county party members. Precinct in question is Maryville in St. Clair County. Removed their personal numbers, mistakenly thought they were office numbers. Bad on me. But yeah, they find 500 mail-in ballots for Trump. Now, the thing is, how it's not that they're just 500 mail-in ballots, but they're specifically mail-in ballots for Trump. By the way, check out Project Veritas's latest video too. Apparently, one of the postal people in Michigan they were allegedly having their workers backdate some postmarks on some ballots that were late, because in Michigan they had to be postmarked and arrive by election day. So what apparently the supervisor, whatever, was having them backdate a whole bunch of ballots. Allegedly. Great. Anyway, yeah, there's all kinds of stories about the ballots here. This was funny, David Burge. Oh, because it wasn't about winning or losing. It was about the friends and giant cash bonfires we made along the way. So Noah Blum was talking about how much money was spent on the McGrath. I think that was the one who ran against Mitch McConnell. Harrison ran against, I think, Susan Collins. I mean, they spent $100 million in Maine. In freaking Maine to get rid of Susan Collins, and Susan Collins is still left unscathed, and Mitch McConnell crushed Amy McGrath. And then Steyer, though, has spent $200 million on his own campaign. Michael Bloomberg has spent over $1 billion between his campaign and spent over $100 million in Florida on anti-Trump ads. And boy, they're just, but oh yeah, let's get money out of politics. They could have, look, that's $1.4 billion between those four. $1,400,000. Bloomberg. Did I say Bloomberg? Bloomberg. By the way, it's not too late to throw a couple of bucks in the tip jar. Just reminding you. Streamlabs and Super Chat. Anyway, yeah, because if you want to spend your political cash, don't give it to any of those people. You can give it to me. So there you go. Holy shit. What else do I got here? Republicans add. Oh, and here's the thing. You know, the sexist, racist, homophobic, misogynist, and xenophobic and transphobic Republicans have added 11 new female members to the United States House of Representatives last night. I feel like this should be, newsworthy. Hello, news people. 11 women have been elected to Congress, and they are 11 Republican women have been added. New members of the House of Representatives. 11. I just think that's pretty noteworthy. Also here, the New York Times. Oh my God, this guy. Did you see this shit by, the hell's his, what's this asshole's name? Charles Blow. Also known as Charles Blows. Today, the New York Times taught me voters don't act in their interest, and the more homophobic, transphobic, and misogynist and racist you are, the more votes you can expect from LGBTQ people, black and brown people, and women's sadism party could really sweep up next election. So here's what Charles Blow put in the New York Times. Exit polls point to the power of white patriarchy. Some people who have been historically oppressed will stand with their oppressors. Fuck you, Charles. Here's some of the article. A larger percentage of every racial minority voted for Trump this year than in 2016. Now, you would think, I'm going to aside here, even if you do not agree with the Republicans, you would think that that would still be a good thing. You'd be like, oh, yeah, the Republicans gaining more ground, being more inclusive and all that. Among blacks and Hispanics, this percentage grew among both men and women, although men were more likely to vote for Trump than women. Among Hispanics, the movements by sex were marginal and have held remarkably steady over the last 4 presidential elections. The fascinating story and movement are in the black vote. Black people vote overwhelmingly for Democratic candidates. Black women vote more reliably Democratic than black men. Only 3 or 4% of black women voted for the Republican candidate in 2008, 2012, and 2016. However, Donald Trump doubled that number this year, winning 8% of black women's votes. Black men, on the other hand, have been inching away from Democrats in recent elections. Yeah! Make it so. And continued that drift in this election. In 2008, 5% of black men voted for John McCain. In 2012, 11% voted for Mitt Romney. In 2016, 13% voted for Trump. And this year, 18% voted for Trump. These men were specifically targeted by the Trump campaign, and that targeting may well have worked. Good. Democrats are going to have to pour some energy into specifics, listing and understanding these black men. They are still the least likely group of men to vote Republican, but this trend away from Democrats is undeniable at this point. So it's a fairly factual article so far, right? Fairly factual. Oh, wait, it gets interesting. Not only did a majority of white men vote for Trump, so did a majority of white women. In 2016, exit polls showed that a majority of white women had done so, but later an analysis validated voters by the Pew Research Center found that a plurality of white women voted for Trump, not a majority. Okay, whatever. In any case, white women vote for Trump at higher rates than all other women, despite the fact that Trump has spent his first time, indeed his whole life, denigrating women. Huh. Interesting. The LGBT, and then he goes to the LGBT community. This one pushed me back on my heels. The percentage of LGBT people voting for Trump doubled in 2016, moving from 14% to 28%. In Georgia, it was 33%. Here it comes. This for a president who has attacked trans people in every way imaginable. Now, other than that military thing, did he really say anything about trans people? I don't know. I'm not sure that actual... Anyway. Thank you, God Emperor of Duncan. Here's my political contribution towards wipe supremacy. Thank you very much. And that deserves a cheer. Thank you very much, God Emperor of Duncan. Oh, and God Emperor of Duncan... You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. There you go. Thank you very much. Okay. The Trump-Pence administration is the most virulently anti-LGBTQ administration in decades. Now, I don't know how that is. Donald Trump was supporting gay marriage before Joe Biden did, before Barack Obama did, before Hillary Clinton did. I'm pretty sure he used to give a lot of money to New York Pride Week too. Anyway, in September, the gay social network Hornet published the results of a survey. Okay, they took a survey. Well, there you go. 10,000s of its users 10,000 of its users found that 45% of the gay men on it plan to vote for Trump. Well, that's Trump's making inroads amongst several minority groups. That's fantastic. You want to have a robust, diverse group of all people without having to just, make that your only, focus. And I think Trump has done well with that. Okay. But wait, there's more. As the company wrote on its blog, quote, the idea that gay men, a demographic that typically skews left, would vote for Donald Trump at a higher percentage than U.S. citizens overall would no doubt be very surprising were it to happen. Oh, and another surprise, 10% of American gay men who took Hornet survey say they do not support Donald Trump at all, but will vote for him nonetheless. Oh. And here's the kicker line. All of this to me points to the power of white patriarchy and the coattail it has of those who depend on it or aspire to it. It reaches across gender and sexual orientation and even race. Trump's brash, privileged chest thumping, and alpha male dismissiveness and in-your-face rudeness are aspirational to some men and appealing to some women. Some people who have historically been oppressed will stand with the oppressors and will aspire to power by proximity. Charles fucking Blow. Yeah, your name's appropriate, Charles. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
With the $2 via Streamlabs. Thank you, sir. I have to save my money. Oh, I have to save my money because Joe Biden said he's going to raise my taxes. That's right. That's damn right. It's been fun. I hope liberals will enjoy the bread lines. Yes.
That's right.
Yes, here they come, baby. Here they come. Adam Richard, of course. How you doing, brother? Yeah, that's Charles fucking Blow. Yeah, they might just have some, I don't know, reasons to vote for Trump. Okay, breaking Donald Trump won highest share of non-white vote of any Republican since 1960. That's pretty damn good. So good for, you know what? Somebody's getting it. Oh, Anderson. Oh, okay. This is an Anderson Cooper clip, and you just have to see it to understand it, and you just have to wait for it. Let's play this clip. Anderson Cooper had a little. Well, you'll see.
In this moment, we're just focusing on tabulating every outstanding absentee ballot that was in by 8 o'clock yesterday to make.
Oh, sorry.
Make sure that first tabulation, that first unofficial result, is as accurate as possible.
Madam Secretary, you heard the president overnight basically declaring victory, claiming that fraud was being committed, and making false statements on Twitter. On Twitter.
On what?
In this moment, we're just
on what? Anderson Cooper.
And making false statements on Twitter. On
what?
Making false statements on Twitter.
Did Anderson did Anderson just say clitter while talking to a woman? What was Anderson thinking about there? Anderson, what were you thinking about? Anderson, you dog, are you changing teams, brother? I don't know. You were talking to that woman and you said, ugh. All right, Anderson, way to go. Oh, and this jackass. Okay, this one pissed me off, and I'm going to finish with this because sometimes I just want to leave angry. So this jackass, Mehdi Hassan, who is a, what is he? He's some MSNBC political analyst jackass. So he tweets this out. Remember all the hand-wringing and pearl-clutching from conservatives at the sight of shop fronts in cities being boarded up in the run-up to Election Day. Turns out the real threat of potential political violence, as is so often the case, from the right. And he uses this tweet as his example. Now, I'm going to make this bigger so you can see. Okay, hang on, I'll pause it here. Large crowd of protesters now gathering in front of Maricopa County Election Center. Now, Mehdi, he continues though. The fact that you never see any right-wingers complaining about these armed militias and armed protesters, etc., tells you everything you need to know about their faux concerns over Antifa and anarchist mobs. Hey, Duncan and Reese, how you doing? So let's look at the example he gives of these right-wing protesters that are a real threat of political violence, is so often the case. Armed militias and armed protesters. Let's take a quick look at the video that he puts out here. Right here. Let's take a look at this now. When you say, because he's saying risk of political violence, armed protesters, armed militias. Here's his. Now watch very carefully on this screen if you can. If you're at work, don't do that, but you'll see when I see. You tell me what you see here.
He's
gonna zoom in. Watch. I'm gonna zoom in. Look.
Democrats are checking them. Democrats are checking. Count them votes. Only Democrats.
Okay, hang on. Do you see? Now, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Either way. And I'm going to just zoom in. I'm going to go where they zoomed in here. Look at these people. And think about the tweet that I just read to you. Do y'all notice anything that might be askew? And I'm gonna play the video again from here where you can see them, because this is where they zoom in. I'm gonna play the video again because he's talking about political violence and how, as it often comes from the right, and the boarded up buildings, that they were boarded up in cities. By the way, there were rioting in Portland and a couple other cities last night, which is, oh, I'm sorry, that's just normal. Never mind. Anything? You notice anything? And look at the picture again. Here they are. What's missing in this picture? Do you see? Now, granted, this is in Arizona too, where people carry their AR-15s into Walgreens on any given day. It's a gun-happy state, and I don't have any problem with that. If that's their culture, that's their culture. I don't care. But what's missing in this picture? Oh, there's a black woman there. Look at that, too. What's missing in this picture? Do you see a single weapon? I see some selfie sticks and some cameras and phones taking pictures and shit. And again, let's look at how violent this protest is. Yeah, people standing around, waving signs. Looks to me like a peaceful protest. Like an actual peaceful protest. Now, I don't know why, because I did reply to this, and usually when you do a reply on Twitter, your reply comes up first. But it doesn't on this one, and I just wonder why. If there's a curator out there. So my reply to that was, I'm thinking, because the MSNBC is where, what's that, Avi something, whatever the hell his name is, this guy, Velshi. I said, what exactly do you think you see here? Where is the armed militia and armed protesters you speak of? Looks pretty quiet as far as protest goes. I mean, it's no mostly peaceful protest or anything, but you know, I'm thinking to myself, damn, what are you talking about, you moron? Anyway, let's see. I got a minute left too here. By the way, I'm going to be dipping out here in a second. Good morning, Shia Grath. Good morning. Who else just came in that said hi? Milan Gamer. That's a new name. How you doing? Waiting like Nevada here. Like, what the fuck? I'm serious. Yeah. And Michael Hatfield, what's up? You know, it's just, they want so bad for people on the right to riot or do something like that. And it's just not going to happen. Even if we end up with Joe freaking Biden as our president, you're not going to see riots in the street and people burning down buildings and looting and shit. You might see some people in the street with some signs, maybe talking a little louder than normal, but that's not what we do on the right. It's just not. And even if you see the militia people in Michigan, remember the armed people were protesting the lockdowns, and so a lot of them had their guns with them, and they went and they said these armed militias were storming the Capitol building. Remember that? A horrible gamer. Hello, how are you? Jacob too. They're storming the Capitol. Oh, but they all stopped to get their temperatures checked before they entered the building. Yeah, that's storming the Capitol. You're God, they want it so bad that they want a clash between the Proud Boys and the Antifa, so they can say that, see, those right-wing militia, racist, sexist, homophobic, blah 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 blahs are always violent. The right-wing violence, the right-wing, whatever. So, and it's funny. The other night when I was on the Lords of the Night on the election special, there's a guy who comes on there every once in a while. He hasn't been around for a while, but he is one of the Proud Boys, this black dude. And I'm blanking on his name right now, but I'll figure it out later. But he was on the show too, and he was saying, yeah, you know what? Proud Boys said, you know what? We're just going to be scarce for a while. We're not going to take any chance of being blamed for any of the violence or any of the destruction. It wasn't just, was the president saying stand up? Yusuf, thank you. Yeah, I probably will try to have Yusuf on my show one of these days. But he said, yeah, you know what? President said stand down. We're like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And they did. And it's like, because they're not out to, look, first of all, the Proud Boys is just a drinking club. People want to make it into something that it's not, but they also are pretty serious about the freedoms that you get in this country, okay? But for some reason, because they clash with Antifa, they turned into the fascists and white supremacists or whatever that the Antifa are supposedly fighting, which the Antifa is just fighting everybody they can and trying to break shit. But this black man who is part of the Proud Boys is one of the racist white supremacists or some shit like that. I don't know. Anyway. And on that note, before you even think about doing anything else, hit the like button before you go. Okay. If you're new here, subscribe right now, hit the bell so that you can get the notifications. And hi, Andrew Joyner. There's a whole lot of names. I don't see that, but Lucian Sakar and all of you jumped in. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, the dead people voting too. Holy shit. Thank you, Horrible Gamer, with the $5 through super chat, who says dead people voting. This is normal for Democrats. Yeah, I told you that's one of their traditional constituents. Dead people. I see dead people. Anyway, so that's it for today, folks, because I gotta go. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and I don't know what GMT is. I think it's 1600 now or something. I don't know. It's it's all messed up because we have that daylight savings time crap. So I'll just say 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 7 a.m. Pacific time. And you Mountain Time people, you're used to not being recognized anyway. So, but if you'd be so kind, before you go, hit the like button on the way out the door. Also, if you could share the stream out, even before or after the stream, it doesn't matter. Share the stream. Yeah, I did see the Veritas one. Share the stream, and then if you want to make donations to the cause, which is me for doing this, if you're entertained, throw a couple bucks in the tip jar. I think of me as your personal stripper. You don't want to see that anyway, but you can do that through YouTube Super Chat, Streamlabs, Venmo, and Cashapp. All that information is in the description down below. Also, I have a Teespring store and a Streamlabs store with not a whole lot of merch in it, but you can get my 2020 FFS mask and or hats and or cups, and there you go. PDawgKnight adds 6 hours. Yeah, but so 10 o'clock Eastern, or 10 o'clock Eastern, so that would be 6 hours. 6 hours. Wait, 6 hours to what? Eastern or Central time? That's what's messed up. I'm in Central time. It used to be add 5 hours, 9 o'clock, there's 1500, right? But is it 16? Okay, check Discord. Okay, tomorrow we'll do a Discord and hashtag news. So PDK news, hashtag PDK news, PDawgKnight news. Oh no, is that what it is? Yeah. Or you can go to the Discord server, information, if you're not already a member of our Discord server, that information's somewhere there in the chat. You can join that too. So that's it. I got to go. My name is PDawgKnight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. See you later.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.